or anything like that. But based on multiple conversations that I've had, it does seem like the most likely scenario is that Kelsey Plum would move on from the Aces.
The Las Vegas Aces, once a dominant force in the WNBA, are facing a major crisis that has fans in shock. The drama started with Kelsey Plum's refusal to sign a contract extension, but it snowballed into something much bigger. A'ja Wilson is reportedly furious. The locker room is filled with tension, and coach Becky Hammon is struggling to keep things under control. With egos and emotions running high, it's unclear if the Aces can recover from this turmoil, or if they're headed for a long rebuild. Off the court, the drama is just as intense as the action on it.
When it comes to somebody like Kelsey Plum, she's coming off a difficult personal year, and she's emphasized that she wants to take time for herself, which is why she said that she pulled out of Unrivaled. So we're not necessarily in the position to, with respect to what she said, to ask her directly, and that would be the best indicator here. But of course, you mentioned my reporting, I can pull and cite a few quotes that kind of imply that, the same way that Satu said that she's working with the Dallas organization, that's been the implication, that the Aces are working to find a situation where, quote unquote, everybody's happy, which is exactly what Becky Hammon said to me about a month ago in regards to
Kelsey Plum's decision to refuse a contract extension has set off a chain reaction that could bring the Las Vegas Aces to their breaking point. What was once a championship caliber team with a solid core is now unraveling piece by piece. Plum's move has lit the fuse on a crisis that could shake the Aces to their core.
At least from what I'm seeing about Kelsey Plum is that during the season, when the rest of the core Aces, the other, they're the core four: A'ja, Chelsea, Jackie Young, and Kelsey Plum. So when her other three, counterparts, they signed extensions, she did not.
Kelsey Plum's decision to walk away from the Aces may seem shocking, but it's tied to a tough personal year and her desire for a fresh start. Despite her impressive stats, minus 17.8 points, 4.2 assists, and 42% shooting, Plum might be eyeing a move. The Golden State Valkyries are ready to make a play, with $1.2 million in cap space and a secret weapon that could seal the deal.
That there is a team that will be coming to the league this year, the Golden State Valkyries, and a part of me just kind of feels like that might be a fresh start for Kelsey Plum if she does decide that she wants to move on from the Aces. To me, it gives them an opportunity to have a great perimeter scorer, which we know that Kelsey Plum is, but it also will add a little bit of familiarity for her because the new head coach was the former assistant coach in Las Vegas, and I think that that could also be something that plays well, where you're getting a new environment and you're getting a new experience, but you're also still working with someone who knows you and knows you well, so you get a bit of the best of.
Here's the kicker. Kelsey Plum has a strong bond with Valkyries head coach Natalie Enmai, going way back to 6 a.m. Pilates sessions. That kind of deep connection could make Plum feel right at home in New Jersey. It's not just about the money. It's about finding the perfect fit on a team where she truly belongs.
I totally understand the fit. You mentioned perimeter scoring for the Valkyries, and they'll absolutely need that. But I think also she brings this, veteran championship mentality that Natalie Nakaze has emphasized that she wants to cultivate in the Golden State. And so to me, that would just be knock out of the park. And they have the room to do it. They're just building their roster. Cap space is not going to be a problem. So that stands out to me, definitely.
But wait, there's more. The Valkyries aren't the only team eyeing Kelsey Plum. Rumors are swirling about a potential sign-and-trade deal with the Chicago Sky. It's a high-stakes poker game, and Plum's holding all the cards.
From the Aces, you mentioned that she did not sign an extension, and former general manager Natalie Williams told me before she and the Aces parted ways that, Kelsey was offered an extension and declined.
If Plum leaves, things aren't looking good for the rest of the Aces. Coach Becky Hammon is struggling to hold it together, trying to balance support for Plum with keeping the team intact, like defusing a bomb with oven mitts. A'ja Wilson, known for her loyalty talk, is now showing cracks. She's not just upset about losing games. During a crucial playoff series, she got into a heated exchange with teammates, adding fuel to the fire.
Us as black women, Paige reminds me a lot of you. You say you're not really about me. And she knows how her privilege has gotten her to that point. And also, she's good at basketball. She understands her privilege. It's pushes her over the top in a sense. It reminds me a lot of you.
You might think A'ja Wilson's outburst was just the heat of the moment, but it's more than that. A'ja has been venting her frustration with the entire team, calling out her teammates for not pulling their weight. The kicker. While she's pointing fingers, the team's falling apart faster than a cheap pair of sneakers. Her high-energy demands are creating a rift in the locker room. Some players are fired up by her passion, while others are feeling the pressure. It's like watching a pressure cooker on the verge of exploding.
I just have a very hard time imagining the Las Vegas Aces without that core four. They were all drafted there. right? I mean, they were all drafted there. And so, I mean, look, as a Warriors fan, losing Klay Thompson, I can sort of relate to this, but that would be quite a blow for a team like Vegas. They came up together, they won 2 championships.
A'ja Wilson is still putting up impressive numbers on the court, but something feels off. It's like watching a queen trying to rule a kingdom slipping through her fingers. The pressure of being the team's leader and face of the franchise is taking its toll. With each game and every frustrated outburst, it's clear the weight of it all is starting to bear down on her.
I go out there and I'm going to try to be the best. I get y'all saying best player in the world. That's great. It looks great. But I want to be the best person. I want to be the best teammate because that's how I get the best out of my team.
The Aces, once unstoppable, are now crumbling under pressure. A'ja Wilson's frustration is a sign of a bigger issue. The team's been relying on past successes, but reality is setting in. She's not just losing games, she's losing the leadership that once made her great. The player who rallied her team with a smile is now the source of tension. It's like watching a star burn out in real time. Can she turn it around?
What's interesting to me is that the Aces seem like they have a lot of decisions to make, and they haven't replaced their GM. And I was reading, your reporting, and I saw all this like, we're making decisions by committee, which I found curious. How long is that going to go on for?
Remember when Becky Hammond was on top of the world, celebrating championships? Those days feel like a distant memory now. Hammond's stuck in a nightmare, and her championship ring now feels more like a pair of brass knuckles. You might think she can turn it around, but here's the twist. Hammond isn't just mad, she's disappointed. And in sports, that's like hearing your mom say she expected better from you.
I know that when I spoke to Becky last month, it was unclear. I requested to interview Natalie Williams recently, and the Aces declined. So obviously this is something that they don't want to talk about right now. But to me, it seems quite unlikely that they're going to even make a hire. And I know that it feels like they're trying to leave that up in the air. That's what Becky Hammond tried to, I think, imply. And when I've spoken to Nikki Fargas.
Imagine the frustration Hammond's feeling, watching her players act like celebrities while their game crumbles. The Aces are in chaos, no general manager, key assistant coach is gone, and only 6 players under contract for next season. Hammond's stuck trying to run a 5-star team with barely any resources. Then she dropped a truth bomb, saying, "My players are in commercials and being freaking celebrities, and you get distracted." That's not just venting, that's an SOS. It's like her players swapped their playbooks for Instagram filters.
You look at their unrestricted free agents, like we've already talked about Kelsey Plum, but what about Tiffany Hayes and Alicia Clark and Sydney Colson? Like those are people that, feel so important to this team, and all of that is kind of just in flux right now. So you would hope to see some decisions soon. I guess that's what this time is.
It's even crazier. Hammond's dealing with this mess without a proper support system. Decisions are being made by committee, which is like trying to parallel park a bus blindfolded. How can she keep the team focused when the organization is more scattered than a Vegas buffet?
There's so much change facing this team. We talked about Natalie Nakaze leading the Golden State Valkyries, but then we also have Tyler Marsh gone to, take the helm at the Chicago Sky. No general manager. I'm told that the assistant coaching staff might not even be complete. Like we might hear of another hire soon, which is, I'm trying to kind of navigate in my mind how that would look, because right now they already have 3 assistants. So a lot is changing, and they also only have 6 players under contract for this upcoming.
Becky also, I think she made the statement something along the lines like, it's just not like we're not going to look the same that we've looked in the past, right? Which makes total sense, right? Again, as I just said, you kind of in your mind have this idea that teams are always going to look the way they look, and
make a hire. And I know that it feels like they're trying to leave that up in the air. That's what Becky Hammond tried to, I think, imply. And when I've spoken to Nikki Fargas, team president.